Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a collaboration with Theresa B DIY. Let's get started. I'm happy to see the warm weather and spring and all of the pollen has arrived. And since I'm getting my porch ready for the spring season, I decided to make a couple of DIYs using mostly Dollar Tree items. Right now, our porch is pretty bare, and I'm ashamed to say that. During the transition of winter to spring, I did not do anything for the porch. So I'm going to try to brighten it up a little bit and to get it ready. So I'm not quite sure if any of you guys have seen the wreath where it has the yellow flowers that look similar to these here. I picked these up at the Dollar Tree, and by the way, everything that I use in this video will be from the Dollar Tree unless I state specifically where I got it from. This wreath I've seen in several magazines, and I've just loved it, the look of it, and I wanted to recreate it for a lot less because you guys know that I love to DIY and I love saving money. So I'm just kind of going in with those little branches, and I think they were named Burnium, if that makes sense. Sorry if that's not the correct way how to pronounce it, but that's how I read it. Anyways, I went in with 6 of those picks from the Dollar Tree. I took all of the little stems off, and I just stuck them into the bamboo wreath. Now, one thing that I did not do is I did not use any glue or any additional jute. If you choose to do that, feel free. I felt like, I guess part of the reason why I didn't do that is because I just wanted to just stick them in there to see if I can even rekindle that fanny look that I've been seeing. So guys, once I show you the finished product, because you definitely want to stay to the end of this video, I have 4 spring DIYs that I think you will absolutely love and you will potentially create for your home. I do feel like I need just a couple more picks to kind of fill this in just a little bit. But for the most part, I love the way it turned out. And you guys will have to let me know in the comments what you all think. So hello, I am Lon, and thank you so much for living life with me. On my channel, I create affordable DIYs. If you are new here, please drop a comment below so I can say hello. And if you've already been living life with Lon, then thank you for returning for another video. Alright guys, so here it is. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and if you like what you're seeing so far, please give this video a thumbs up. Like I said, this video is part of a collaboration with Theresa B DIY. She has new videos weekly and you will love her channel. She's very talented and she's a great crafter. She creates affordable DIYs, and if you need a joke, she has one for you. Go show her channel some love and let her know that I sent you over. And if you are here from Theresa's channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Okay, so this next project was probably one of my favorites. I mean, I love them all. I really do, but this is probably the #1 favorite, and you guys will have to let me know which one is your favorite, or 2 or 3, or even maybe 4. Anyways, I went in with one of the flowers and garden buckets from the Dollar Tree, one of the bamboo cutting boards, and I used 3 painter's sticks, the larger sizes that I picked up from Home Depot, and I used 1 smaller size that I cut down, and I will show you guys that later. I'm going in with my Waverly Antique Wax. I stain those. I like using the wax, this particular wax, because it is odorless, it dries super quick, and I love the way it looks on the wood. So once I went in and attached all 3 of my larger paint sticks, I laid it down flat, and then I attached the smaller paint stick. And I did cut off a tiny little piece of that with my miter shears to give it a little bit of more stability towards the top and to make it look more like a trellis. Now, if you choose to do more than 1 row, feel free to do that, but I just only wanted 1 row. And then I went in with this Dollar Tree garland. This is something that I guess it's a spring item because I haven't seen this before, and I went in and took off the wire portion of it. Basically, I only wanted green vine. I didn't want the brown makeshift tree limbs. kind of knock down the bright color that the bamboo cutting board was, I just went over with a wash of the antique wax that was left in my brush. Here I'm just showing you where I went in and did some more reinforcing with some hot glue. No, I did not paint the back because you're not going to see the back. But if you are someone who likes your projects to be completely finished, you definitely want to paint the back. So here's that piece that I cut off. I end up using this smaller piece. I cut that in half and attached it to the bottom of the bucket because there was just a teeny bit of gap between the bucket and the bamboo cutting board. So hello to all of the new subscribers. Thank you so much for your subscription and coming and supporting my channel. That means a lot to me. And if you've already been living life with Lon, then you already know I appreciate you and thank you so much for coming back. Let me just tell you that these are miter shears that I saw Theresa be using, and I absolutely needed a pair. That was not an easy cut though. So they do not cut through these painter sticks as easily as it looked. I actually had to press it about twice. So once on one side and then I flipped it over and I did it again on that side, and that's when it finally cut through. So if you're doing like a popsicle stick, they're super great. And they're still great for the paint sticks. You just have to do a flip over method and then they'll cut right through. So now I'm kind of looking at this piece. I'm kind of feeling the way it's looking. I am like in awe at how it's coming out. And here I am going through with that vine. Originally with the stick in it, or it's not a stick. It's supposed to be a fake branch, but it just didn't look right. So here I am now without that fake branch or faux branch, and I'm just going to weave the vine through the trellis, gluing the back side of it so I can make sure that it won't fall down. And then I just go in and I stuff in the bottom just a couple of Dollar Tree bags, and then I put some floral picks that my mother-in-law gave to me. Guys, I do not know where she got these flowers from. She always switches out flowers, and I'm always the happy recipient of her leftovers. So, sorry I cannot tell you where she got them from. Feel free to use whatever flower that you're happy. And this is how it turned out. I love the look of the faux tree, but I do not like the cost of the faux tree. So I decided to head back over to the Dollar Tree to grab one of those flowers and garden buckets. Now, one thing that I will say about this is that the E6000 is my glue of choice. I haven't had any bad results with it so far. But for this particular project, I did have to do the E6000 and the hot glue combo because my stick was a tad bit flimsy. And because I did not have a dowel rod that was long enough, I had to attach two together. Now I went in with my antique wax and I painted the stem to resemble a tree trunk. And going back in with some of those flowers that my mother-in-law gifted to me, I took and cut some green leaves and attached them to the dowel rod using jute twine. Now I apologize because this project was not in really great angle to where I could show you exactly what I was doing, but basically I just took the stem of the leaves and I put some hot glue on the dowel rod, and then I stuck that stem to the dowel rod, and then I did some reinforcement by wrapping the jute twine around the dowel rod. And then so as I was doing this, I noticed that it was becoming a little more unstable, so I went in with some styrofoam Dollar Tree bags to kind of help give it some more stability. And after doing that, I then noticed that I had to cover up all of that stuff. So I happened to have some of those white rocks on hand. And so I used those in just the entire bag. I love the way it turned out. And initially at first it was looking sparse because it was only just one pick that I was given. But then I remembered that I had some more of that garland. So I actually attach this to the tree by just merely wrapping it around. And I actually let the faux wood branches stay on it this time. And I like the way it turned out. So guys, you'll have to tell me which tree you like best. If you like the sparse tree or the tree that looks a little fuller. I used some of my nail polish remover to take off the words on the front because even though they were cute, it's not what I wanted for this particular piece. So here's a close-up of exactly what I did by wrapping the leaves to the dowel rod using the jute twine. I hope that makes sense. I am going in with 3 Dollar Tree mats. Now, before you decide to click off, because this is a mat tutorial, you want to watch this to the end. I was very pleased with the way it came out. I had 2 of the woven tapestry mats. I went in with some hot glue and I put the seams together. One thing that I will tell you is to watch your hands when you're doing this project and your surface, because it can easily slip through and get on your work area. After finishing that, I noticed that my little tassels needed a bit of a haircut. So I went in and I just gave it a slight trim, maybe about a ½ inch from the edge of the mat. So for this next rug, I wanted to try to do a reverse technique with this rug. Now, I will say this, it was pretty easy. It was not too complicated. Now, I went in with some painter's tape to kind of mark off some lines, and I had a little bit of difficulty because I wasn't quite sure as to how I wanted the lines to go, if I wanted them to go vertically or horizontally. So I played around with it and I finally came up with a pattern that I liked. I used my roll of jute twine to go in and press the tape in really well to prevent from bleeding, and it appears that it worked very well. And instead of actually painting the rug, I actually did more of a dabbing technique, going over the areas that I felt like they needed a little more attention until I got an even consistency. And then I pulled the tape off immediately because I didn't want to create any problems with the tape sticking to the rug. Once I did that, I went over, and this vinyl right here is actually some paper that I got from the Dollar Tree during the summertime, I think. I've had it a while. Anyways, I went and cut in the font Buttercup on my silhouette, and that is from the font, thefont.com. It's a free image there if you'd like to go and get it. But this is in the size, the width is 20 and the height is 8. So I had to cut it into 2 pieces. Guys, this was my first time doing it, and if I can do it, you can too. I used some transfer tape that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I just applied it to the rug. I worked with the smaller piece first because I felt like it would be a little more manageable, and then I went with the other half later, going back in and just kind of using my jute twine to rub and get that image adhered really well to the rug to prevent any bleeding. Going in with my Waverly chalk paint in the color white, no plaster this time, and we're using white. And I went in and I did another stippling or dabbing motion to fill in the word welcome. I did not wait for this to fully dry. Like as soon as I had finished putting the paint on, I went in and I just pulled it off. It came right up and it did not bleed. I was very impressed at the work. I was almost like, oh my gosh, I really made that. It looks so cute. You can customize it to be whatever you want. If you want it to do your last name, you could even do one especially for each season. But I paired it with that those two tapestries and I layered it up, and this is what it looks like. And guys, this does not look like it came from the Dollar Tree. I am going to go in and spray urethane spray on there to make sure that it seals and it's protected during the weather. So that's all for today's video. Thank you again, Theresa, for the collaboration, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.